Hey guys, so I'm going to give you a little bit of some info on how I'm managing this tiny pasture right now. The size of this pasture is a 160 foot by 200 feet, and that is the size of this pasture. Where Joe is walking currently, that is 14 feet wide for a walking lane. And then I will walk down here and kind of show you where her current grazing setup is. Hi girl, what you doing? So, and then this is the current lane that she's on. So this is about 21 feet. Each of these boards lengths is 14 foot long. So I just broke it up doing 3 posts. Initially I started at 2 posts, which gave me a 14 foot lane, but considering that I'm going to have a second horse, I don't think that's going to be feasible. And then initially what I was doing is I was doing 2-day rotations. So initially I had her out on this first pasture down here. So I'll walk down there and kind of show you guys. So I started this one. So I started her all the way down here. So she would have to walk the 14-foot lane all the way down to this section here. And I had her initially at 2 posts down here, which it did last the 2 days, but the problem is that it was also including the lane, which was 14 feet, so that probably helped it kind of last a little bit longer. But there's not much grass at this area. We had a berm that was here when I initially put in had them put the pasture in, and so it was actually holding water pretty bad. There was like pretty much from the corner all the way down there to the corner here and a little bit past where this hump is, about here, was where water would get stopped with really heavy rains. So I had them pull that out, and as you can see, this is all of the dirt work that had been done. So I went ahead and used my mower with a bagger to go and collect some of the grass clippings from that section down there. Oops, sorry. But yeah, that section down there, and pull all of the clippings so I could fill this in, so I had cover on the ground. Otherwise this would be bare dirt. And so, but as you can see, by doing so, I have grass coming in already, which is really exciting. So it just goes to show, if you have something on it, the grass will recover faster. And as long as you keep the ground covered, that you'll have like plants coming in, whichever. I mean, they could be grass, they could be broadleaf, or like in general, just whatever. So I essentially did the same thing inside the paddock, or pasture. So as you can see, I mean, she was actually starting to poop over here too. She'd eat a little bit of the clippings, but I don't think she really liked them that much, thank goodness. But yeah, so this is going to take some time to get this to recover. There's already some grass, like some young grass growing in about right there. You can't see it, I have to like go and zoom in, but I'm really just starting off by doing this on my phone. So anywho, so that's basically where I'm starting. And just to get back to the lane situation, so essentially I started at 14 foot and I decided that's too narrow for her and my gelding. and they've never met each other. So this will be interesting with the intro to see. He's been like with any and every other horse on the property he's at now, and he's pretty sociable and gets acclimated very quickly. Her, on the other hand, she came from a situation where she was with through 2 other horses. I don't think she'd been separated from them for a long period of time. I think she'd probably been with them a long time, so she hasn't been, I don't think she has the social skills as such as my gelding, but I'm hoping that he'll help her kind of get acclimated and get a little bit more comfortable and such. So she's only been here since the 1st of the month. So far she's done really well. Initially, when I had introduced her to this pasture, I did not have any of this set up, so she kind of had a free-for-all. And then I started incorporating the lanes as soon as I got the electric fence in, which I did myself. I'm using the Premier 1 IntelliRope, I believe, for the perimeter. And then for the lanes, I think I'm using a slightly smaller rope versus the perimeter rope. I'll have to go back and double check if anyone's interested to kind of tell you guys which one I use, but I think if you go to the Premier 1's website, look up equine perimeter fence or perimeter fence rope, and that selection will come up. So yeah, anywho, so I started on 14 foot, it's too small, went to 21, and we've been doing 2-day rotations. And initially I started off just like, I did 2 rotations, and then I took the mower and mowed behind her, and I got to it about the one that she's in now, and I decided it was really kind of hard to walk through to put the temporary fence up, so I ended up just going and mowing that because there was just so much stuff that she wasn't eating on the old rotations that I was just kind of like, maybe I should just go ahead and mow this and see what happens. So the one she's in now is kind of an experiment to see how it works and how well it's gonna pan out. So I'm hoping that she's not gonna like graze it down really bad. We'll see, and all that. I have to keep you guys updated on how that goes. So yeah, I think essentially was following her with the mower, ended up doing that paddock or that lane by itself with the mower just so I could actually walk in it. If that actually is a little bit more successful, I think the next rotation that I'll do, I'll go ahead and not mow that one, wait another 2 days, and then mow it again, mow that lane and the next one down for her, and then that way at least she can eat some of the grass, and then whatever is not palatable she can leave and it can be carbon for the ground. So the reason I'm doing this is just because it's so small, and the fact is I'm trying to kind of do like a bit of a regenerative grazing. You can call it regenerative grazing, you can call it, what I've seen is adaptive grazing, and then also cell grazing. I think over in the UK somebody called it that too. It all seems to be the same to me. It's just making sure that your animal can be on a strip of lane, and strip grazing as well, and so that they are given a specific amount of area to graze for a short amount of time. They graze it, and then you move on, and then you allow the land to recover. And by doing that, it's supposed to help allow the land to bounce back, and then be able to provide more forage when the animal goes back to that area. So, all right, and I'm walking down here. Kind of give you guys that's a little bit of what I'm trying to accomplish with the pasture. I mean, I've still got a lot of growth down here with flowers and whatnot. Also, I'm wanting it to reseed itself too, so that's why it's really tall. But she is, initially I was doing 2-day rotations and she was allowed out at night as well. So I had to cut her back because she was grazing it down way too fast. And so I cut her back to being in here for 12 hours. And then the other 12 hours, she's in here. So, and then I had to figure out like, so when my gelding comes, I'll have to cut that in half because 2 horses, the land and the grass is not enough to sustain very long. So I'm like, okay, well, I have to cut it down to 6 hours for 2 horses. So I'm thinking 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours at night. I'm not set on it yet. I'll figure it out. So yeah, but she's in here with her shelter. She's got her water. I don't have water plumbed to this area yet. Well, that's a future project. Also manure. So manure, I pick that up pretty much every day and then take it to the lane that she's eating and then dump it on an area that looks a little bit eaten down, or an area that she walks through pretty much a lot, and then that way it gets the manure broken up and into the ground and thus helps grow the next area of grass. Okay, so I think that's enough for right now. I'll think I'm gonna keep doing these videos just to kind of give myself a chance to look and see on old videos and see how things are progressing. I think they're progressing pretty good, especially I keep walking by and looking, especially at the dirt area, and seeing that the grass is growing, and it's really motivating to keep doing this way, because if I can get more grass to grow, that means that's less hay that I'm having to feed, because whenever she's in the dry lot basically, or a sacrifice lot, then I'm feeding hay in there. So yeah, but y'all stay tuned, keep posted, subscribe if you want to follow this journey with me. Yeah, so I'm excited. Talk to you later.